Welcome back to episode 90, Back to the Base. I'm sure there's like a little rhythm I could get into there if I had rhythm.
Yeah, well, anyway,
You're back.
I'm back.
Okay, now.
Yeah, I've had a little bit of time off,
Sabbatical.
haven't I? Yeah, I've been missing for the past couple of podcasts.
Yeah.
And so, unfortunately, I've probably had to listen to at least a 2-hour-long podcast because I haven't been here.
Three
Ooh.
podcasts. I had my own way.
Well, if any of you prefer me not to be here, just shout in and let us know. And Steve can do them all by himself.
No, because they'll end up saying, we prefer you not to be there at all. And we could
that is an option, just to let us know if you've had enough of us. Well, anyway, this is podcast
episode 90.
And I am Thomas.
And I am Stephen. Welcome back.
Yeah.
It is on the podcast, it's the 5th of December today. That's when this one goes out. But we are live and we are recording this on the 25th of November. We're a little bit ahead of ourselves, aren't we?
Yeah.
Give Rick some time to edit and make his stress levels a bit lower. So the podcast today is Back to the Base, and we are going a little bit back to basics, aren't we?
Yeah.
I mean, who does a podcast on base nutrients?
But that's it. The base as well is also the base of the plant, the base, the nutrient, the main engine, the where it all happens, where a lot of the magic goes on, where you put all your nutrients or whatever you're putting in, your root stimulators, your floral boosters, your sugar boosters, your PKs, your rhizotonics, everything. It all goes into this base of the plant. And we're today talking about back to the base, which is base nutrients.
What we say to our customers pretty much daily is that people get too carried away with what's the best PK, what's the best sugar booster, what's the best flavour enhancer, what's the best aroma, and it really, they're not concentrating on the base nutrients. And you know what I heard a lot of people doing? They'll add the A and B or the single part or the 3-part base nutrients, and then when it gets to PK time, they reduce the amount of A and B that they're using, just so they can add a little bit more phosphorus and potassium, a bit more PK, and that is completely backwards, the wrong way to do things. And the way I explain to customers that have got this type of mindset is your base nutrients, your A and B or your single part, whatever it is your Sunday roast dinner. It's your potatoes, it's your meat, and it's your veg.
Yeah.
You don't have your base nutrients and you ain't got no dinner. So your PK can be your meat sauce.
Yeah.
Your meat sauce. Do you have meat sauce? I have mint sauce. That's
mint
what I meant to say.
Or meat sauce.
Yeah, mint sauce on me meat. And gravy could be your boost enhancer. Your mustard could be your root stimulator. And what I'm trying to get across is that the root stims, the boosters, the PKs, they're all additives.
They're all
additional
around the main scran. Do you know what I mean? The main consumption of what your plant needs, which is your base nutrients. So first and foremost, you need to make sure that you've got a decent base nutrients, or you know what you're doing with it, or you've got the correct one to go with the correct media. You're using the right volume, and you're checking your EC. All of these are key to back to the base.
Back to the base.
Yeah.
So we've got some questions that I thought people would be interested in finding out, and I've also at the start of therefore people might be interested in finding out the dosage rates as well, because there's a few things you've got to consider when you're going to your base nutrients. It's going to be one of the first purchases you make, and everybody that's grown indoors is using a base nutrient.
Yeah.
So,
and if you're not,
then there's something wrong.
Listen to this podcast over and over.
What about a funny story to begin with, where someone's come in the shop and they've said,
"Oh, I know what you're going to say. Go on.
I've used up all of me A. When do I start using B?"
Oh my God.
Now you can tell that's...
and for those who don't know what we're talking about, this is a 2-part nutrient. So you use both of the parts, you mix them in the same water solution together. So i.e. 10 ml of A and 10 ml of B, and you'll use that right through the regime. Yeah. Where this dopey chap has thought, use the A until all the A's gone, and then I'll start using the B. But I don't know. I'll go in the shop and ask them once I've used all of the A.
It's really hard sometimes to keep a straight face.
Yeah, it is, to say the least.
So, first question is, how much are you adding? It's a question that I went through all the base nutrients. Obviously, I've got my preference. Thomas, you'll have your preference.
Yeah.
But what you need to find out is how concentrated are these base nutrients. So I went through them. Typically, I'm not going to go through them all because you'd be bored to tears. But you've got your CANNA A and B, you've got your Dutch Pro, you've got your Hydroponics, and you've got every other range of nutrients that you can think of. Pretty much everyone's got a base nutrient.
Yeah.
And typically, I went through them there, and CANNA, you're using 2 to 4 mil per litre. Dutch Pro, 2.5 to 3.5 mil per litre. Hydroponics, 2 to 4 mil. And it's like that the whole way through. Pretty much every person, every company with a base nutrient is between 2 to 4 mil.
But remember, also, this always brings me back to the original point. Remember when I was going on with myself, as I normally do, about measurement levels that a nutrient manufacturer gives you. So with the saying, 10 mil to 10 litres of water, or 2 mil to 3 mil, whatever they're saying, when I am always go on about this, because that means to me jack shit, pardon me French, because that doesn't tell me the EC level of my plant. Now, my plants, they don't feed off 10 mils to 10 litres of water, or 2 mils to 20 litres, or this or that or whatever, because that doesn't make sense. That's a foreign language, because your plant needs EC. That's how you measure a base nutrient. So when your plant's very small, you start on a low EC, maybe 0.4 to 0.6 or whatever you want to start on. And then as the plant grows, you up it. So your mid-growth will be probably 1.2 to 1.4. Peak flower will max out at 2.2. And then you'll start dwindling it down. Where on earth does it say 10 mil to 20 litres or 10 litres there? Yeah. Where does that read to me how much the plant consumes? What does that mean?
So the guides essentially are for the most complete beginner that's ever even picked up an A and B. If you're still looking at the feed charts and you've been doing this for half a year or 10 years, if you're still looking at the feed charts, there's something gone. You've lost your place a little bit. I don't know how
you can understand the plant or be a plant whisperer. Yeah. If you're still off that regime, because I just don't get it. No. If somebody understands that a lot better than me, please can you help me? Because I'm 15 years in and I'm still scratching my head on how 10 mil to 10 litres of water. What?
When do you give it?
When? How often? What? What about flower period and growth period and? You know, what do you up it? Does the plant take the same consumption of that level each time?
Yeah.
If anyone's got the explanation of that for me, please phone in and put me straight. Please do. I'd look forward to it. It's
got to be for the absolute beginner, and it's for the advanced person to go, we had roughly, so this is a 1 mil per litre nutrient, and that's a
Who's
2
roughly?
mil. Roughly.
Is he someone... Is he,
yeah? No.
I thought you was talking about somebody then. I don't know who that is.
1 mil per litre. You know what? It's been a lovely 3 weeks. You just love throwing the spanner in the works, sending me all off track.
See, because roughly, yeah. He hasn't got a clue what he's talking about. He's either here or there. He's a confused person. He's never spot on, roughly. That's one thing I know about him. He's neither here or there. He's in between. He's a lost soul. Yeah. So he's no good to me. I can't be around, roughly. But have you met his mate? Exactly. Now, I swear to God, lad, he is on point. That's my type of guy. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. He comes along and he is exact. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I like it. I like the way you talk about shit.
Do you know what I mean?
I've missed you. Hey?
Oh, I've missed you too.
So, basically, the feed guides, they're pointless because the different stages of growth, different plants, they need different feeding. So, how would you get around this? You go and buy yourself an EC stick. Even if it's, you know what, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but if you haven't got the £60 to get a Blue Lab EC pen or the £80 to get the Trunction, at least go and get yourself some sort of EC pen, because it's that vital. Get to know what EC
if you and you know what, times are hard, and you know Christmas is coming up and shit like that, you know. Times are hard for everyone, and I understand that. And, you know, if you have only got a little bit of dough or whatever, you can come down to the shop and, you know, we can work a little payment plan out or whatever. You can put a little few quid down, a little $5 here, a $5 there, or we'll work something out at NPK. We'll always try and help our customers. That's what type of shop we are. So if you're a little bit stuck or whatever, that doesn't mean get down the shop and start ordering tennis there for kids and start buzzing. I mean, if you're a bit pet and you need a little thing or whatever, and you want to put off a little bit of dough or whatever, so come and see me, we'll sort it.
So there's your feed charts. Yeah. So essentially, to get back to the point of how much feed are we adding to our nutrients, pretty much everyone's the same. There's one big company that's very different though, Metrop. Metrop, you're adding on their base nutrients, you're adding 0.5 mil to 1 mil per litre because it's super concentrated. I know for some people it's caused a few problems because of its
loads of people who use it do just because it's that highly concentrated, they can't get the gist, so they they were the usual sketches.
Yeah, they can't get
And
around
just
putting 1 million.
The nutrients, Bosch nutrients, but it's for a proper expert grower. It's not for a novice at all. Novices, it'll just kill the crop straight away. So if you're a novice, don't use Metrop.
But if you like the super concentrated stuff,
Yeah,
and that's what you're into,
that's
Metrop's the one.
That's the one for you.
What base nutrients should people be using now? Because there's so many out there, and you might be watching going, well, I've always used this base nutrients.
Well, to be honest, you know, everyone knows that I'm a Dutch Pro fan, don't you? But in all honesty, CANNA's A and B is a belter base nutrient, cocoa A and B. If you're using cocoa, or if you're in soil, it'll be Terra Vega and Terra Flores for growth and flower. CANNA's is quite simple.
It is, and that's the key point. It's
simplicity. But not just simple, it gives a good result. So you've got part and parcel, both of it in one hand, do you know what I mean? So I'd say CANNA's a good one, especially for a beginner.
Yeah.
If you want to delve in a little bit more straight away, I'm going to say Dutch Pro, because we've got the double 2 parts, you know what I mean? We've got the A and B for grow, and we've got the A and B for bloom. So it's just a little bit more in depth looking at the plant.
There's a key point to me. CANNA, Dutch Pro. Which one? They're the two big guys. Which one should you use? My opinion, I don't know if Thomas agrees. CANNA, if you're a beginner, if you want something really,
do a side-by-side test and make your own decisions. You know what I mean? I'm not here to push things on people at all. I tell you what we've used and what we do and what majority does, and as I go off. But by no means, shape or form, be a sheep, be the wolf. Do what you want to do, but remember that there is certain rules. There's 1,000,001 different ways of growing, i.e., different varieties of base nutrients. And none of that is right or wrong. If you choose to use a different base nutrient, that's fine. However, the only right and wrong is when you over-fertilise or under-fertilise. That's the right and wrong.
Or use A and forget to use the B.
Or use B and forget to use A.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But there's no wrong with base nutrients. Every single base nutrient on the market will get you a good result.
Yeah, but make sure you're using the right levels and make sure you measure an EC. Yeah. And that's how you'll be successful in all of it.
So with the CANNA and Dutch Pro, what I want to say is the CANNA tends to drop your pH. So if you don't measure your pH and you're in cocoa, which is a lot of people in the UK are growing in cocoa, you can add the CANNA A and B and it's going to drop your pH automatically. The problem that people have is that they want to switch from CANNA and they want to go on to the next best thing or the next thing, Dutch Pro's A and B, and they forget or they don't realise that Dutch Pro's A and B isn't pH'd for them. So you need to, when you add the A and B grow or the A and B bloom, the pH it's not going to change the pH, so then you need to add your pH down to get that to the right level, and that's where people come unstuck. They use CANNA A and B, they switch to Dutch Pro and they go, that Dutch Pro shit. It's because, I guarantee it's because you weren't pH and you water. So there's a difference between them two. Now, CANNA A and B, Dutch Pro A and B, touched on them. Next A and B that I really like and I really rate it is Hydroponics A and B. They've got the A and B grow and the A and B bloom.
Yeah.
I'd put my neck out on the line and say that Hydroponics' base nutrients will far surpass CANNA and Dutch Pro for quality because it's got part organic, part synthetic. Use it in hydroponics, use it in cocoa, and they've got the soil as well.
So
and
versatile.
Their ingredients are top notch as well. So Hydroponics is up there. Just to touch on some of the other ones, Botanicare have got their Pure Blend Grow and Pure Blend Bloom. High quality ingredients.
Have we still got that availability though?
Yeah, we've got some limited stock of that because
Okay.
the situation with Botanicare in the UK. And then there's another one to raise up on Botanicare. They've got Base, Grow and Bloom, which is their kind range. So if you're interested in keeping things super, super simple, and also this is the cheapest one as well, by mils per litre and the cost of it, you add the Grow and the Base when you're in veg, and then you add the Base and the Bloom when you're in flower. And then that's it. It's got its PKs, it's got calcium, magnesium, it's got its boosters, all in those 3 bottles. You don't need anything else. And that's a good sound point for Botanicare's kind range. We talked about Metrop being super concentrated.
Here's a question. Gary Dowie, how do I pH our water for flushing just with a dropper test as the pen jumps around all over the place? It is sweet just to mix with a bit of tap water to get some minerals in it, or what do you recommend?
You don't need to pH when you are flushing, because the reason that you pH is so that your plant can absorb nutrients. When you're flushing, if you do practice flushing,
because you don't need the gateway open anymore.
Yeah, you're just basically pushing all them salts out the plant for it to taste better. So if you're using reverse osmosis water, you don't need to use reverse osmosis water.
You're doing your thing there, lad. You're smashing it anyway, yeah.
Yeah, unless you're in a super, super hard water area, it can benefit using RO water. So I don't know how hard your water is or how soft it is, but just purely for flushing, you don't need to pH as long as it's around, as long as it's not fucking 10 or 2, something completely drastic.
A question for you, back to you. Have you tried any of the Botanica sweet raw, sweet citrus and sweet berry for flushing? Boom, the reviews on that product is unbelievable. Trust me. So if you haven't, have a go flushing it with that, see what you think. Sweet, okay, well trust me, depending on what type of flowers you're using, you'll have to determine which one. Obviously, citrus, berry, and raw for different types of flower.
Citrus plants.
But you can
plants.
just give us a call and we'll speak to you regarding that situation.
And I want to do a shout out to DNA Mills. That DNA's nutrients are currently still just at the end now of our testing process. It takes a long time to get onto our shelves in the shop. DNA, God love them. They have sent us. They are proud of their product.
DNA. What's my mate's name again?
James.
Big shout out to
He's
James.
usually watching, to be honest. I think just we've come on a little bit late, so maybe.
Shall we slate him while he's not watching?
No, you can't, because his cocoa was shit
hot.
hot.
That cocoa's shit hot. But you know what? We are going to have to get that soil off yet. You know why? Because before I went away last week, somebody was asking me about it, so we're going to have to get it in now.
Yeah, and the cocoa's been smashing it,
yeah.
And your nutrients have been smashing it as well.
And we're not sponsored by DNA. For anyone who says, oh, they're sponsored by them, well, fucking not. So if they were shite, I'd tell you they were shite, but they're not, so there you go. I haven't used a nutrient yet.
Yeah.
Has it been tested?
Yeah, it's been tested a few times. Well, they did the test. They used the test DNA Mills cocoa with DNA Mills nutrients, CANNA Professional with CANNA nutrients, and basically it showed the stem circumference, the size of the stem on the DNA stuff.
Is it finished the cycle yet? No.
Not yet.
No.
So we haven't got final results.
So we'll wait for
but
that.
It's looking good for you. I want to do a little bit of a thing about Sensi Advanced Nutrients as Grow and Bloom, and then their connoisseur. It's not, I'll be honest, it's not a product I've used. And the reason being is because the dosage rates are so high.
Yeah.
Like if people are going off these dosage rates, 4 ml per litre to start with on the Grow A and B, and 4 ml per litre on the Bloom A and B. I've got to think with Advanced Nutrients, some of the products are really good.
Which ones? The 1 million products that they've got on the range?
The 1 million products that make growers just scratch their heads and like, oh, what am I using now? They've got...
Hey, listen, they don't just make you scratch your heads. Where the fuck is you've got to put them on the shelves and figure them out when they come in these boxes, and they changing the label from this shit to that shit and putting...
And then you've got pH perfect cocoa.
Cocoa. Which one is it?
You've got tomato dry and an F1 car.
You're fucking stressing me out. When I know what they're doing, they're just at the bollocks again, splitting everything up and moving everything around, so it costs you more dough. That's what they're doing.
As well.
Yeah, so it's 1 million bottles and you want a piece of everything.
Here's one. Liquid Carbaload is, they say, is a carbohydrate booster, whatever, microbe enhancer. There's liquid Carbaload in Bud Candy. That whatever they've got in liquid Carbaload is in Bud Candy. Why do you need the two products? Why do you split ingredients up and put them in two separate bottles? I'm not into the ethos of what they do. They seem like they seem like they're after their profits. They're very big on marketing with that tomato driving the speed car. And you know everyone's talking about it on all the forums saying, if they're spending that much on getting people to draw cartoons and fancy diagrams and women in mermaid suits and bulldogs on cigars.
Got the kids out of the local play centre to do them cartoons. Right?
That's a low joke, that.
Sorry, I'm only messing, you know. Fucking hell. You'll start crying in a minute. That's it.
I know. But look, you've got...
I got the kids to write our badge anyway, so it'll have... The kids write this script for us every day.
Yeah, that's where it comes across, probably, isn't it? You got Remo's nutrients, which we're still testing them now, but they're looking good. Vitalink, CX Hydroponics, a big shout out to CX Hydroponics. They've got a very good single part nutrients, but bad news, they're discontinuing it now.
Ooh.
They're going on to 2 parts. They're going to a Grow A and B and Bloom A and B. That's my question, bro.
Why are they doing that? We will investigate and let you know.
Well, I've investigated, and they say that people just aren't interested in the single parts anymore, and they feel like they can hit a wider audience with the 2 parts.
Nah, that's not what the people say.
To be honest, I
don't
can't.
know what people they're talking to.
I can't.
They're not talking to the same people we're talking to, are they?
I can't honestly move a 2-part nutrients. I mean, there's not many 2-part nutrients. You've got to stand out in the crowd, and CX stood out in the crowd.
Well,
they've got great products.
Where are we up to here then?
What ingredients are being used? So you're picking a base nutrient. Do you go for how expensive it is, how cheap it is, how concentrated it is? You've got to do
your own investigations. For a customer looking at standing in a shop, probably me knowing this, just thinking back of myself, standing in a shop and what base nutrients am I going to get? I'm going to just go with what everybody else is going with, because probably we're not that skilled enough to venture out of the circle, and that can put you in a pit for a long time, until you're obviously maybe spread your wings a little bit further and meet somebody else who's doing a little bit of this, or you'd have a conversation about doing a bit about that, when really you're hindering yourself constantly.
You know the problem? People come into me and go, I really want to change, but I've been using this line of nutrients for 5 years and I've always been doing good, you know.
Yeah.
I don't really want to change, but what do I do? And that's what you're saying about getting stuck in a hole. You need to be doing side by side. You need to be not listening to what your mate say, because your mate don't know shit, to be honest.
Yeah, here's a decent question, right? What would you say is better, Dutch Pro A and B or CANNA?
So you just missed out on the beginning, probably, haven't you?
Yeah,
because we talked about that at the beginning.
Yeah, but
we
didn't. Yeah, that's a direct question. A simple enough fucking question, isn't it? But here's the answer, right? CANNA A and B's easy, simple. Yeah, because you just use that sketch all the way through, and it's easy. Piece of piss. There's no complication there. You use it from start to finish, and off you go.
Job done.
And it's good. Yeah, but Dutch Pro, you've got to use an A and B grow and an A and B bloom.
And you should mix the two and transition as well.
A bit more complicated, yeah, but has a better result. The plants look more lush. So, which is better is Dutch Pro. But CANNA's good as well, and it makes it easier. Yeah. So, to be honest, the clash against each other with that.
Yeah.
I'll personally say Dutch Pro, but that's because of the way the plants will look. But if you're going to say,
I'm just a simple grower, I just need to go in and want to give them 40, 40, 40, then it's CANNA.
And CANNA's most common for that. So, they're both belters. So.
If you want to get your pH pen out, you got to go to Dutch Pro. If you just want an easy, simple life but good results,
stay with CANNA.
And then don't forget there's other base nutrients as well, quality base nutrients, but them two are the big players. You're right. Any chance of Uber nutrients coming to the UK?
I haven't heard of them.
Uber are already in the UK. They're just not a massive brand. But that's not to say that they're a bad brand or that they don't work.
Where they originated from?
HID sells Uber. It's an Australian company.
Okay.
Australia make quality nutrients as well. But if you want Uber nutrients, send us an email, tell us what you want, and we'll get them in for you. That's simple. Just let us know what you want. But they're already, we can get them for you. Right, what do you want to achieve? Yield.
Yeah.
Yield and flavour, or flavour and quality. So when people are saying, come in and ask me.
Well, there's various, them three categories there: yield, flavour and quality. They're three avenues that you need to take down.
When you're
choosing, not particularly your base. Yeah, your base as well, but that'll more come into your additives and how you pursue down each of them avenues to create all three. Obviously, becomes a lot more technical and a lot more in depth to increase resin productions or quality. Can be done by a certain way, using various products within the store. Yield, producing additional flowers can be done a different way, and quantity.
The way I explain to the customers is, I say it's like let's say a 30 centimetre ruler. On one end, number one is you are in it to produce produce for yourself. You want it to be full of flavour, aromas, taste, 100% quality. That's all you're bothered about. You got the other end of the spectrum, and you are producing for the markets, and you just need to get yield out there.
Yeah.
Then somewhere in the middle where you want to sell to the markets, but you also want to be proud of what you're doing and get yield and quality. There's different base nutrients for you. If you're stage one, pure quality, then you probably want to look at organic nutrients. A great example is BioBiz's organic range. They're the ones that I know of, the biggest company that are pure organics. And then you slowly move forward. Middle of the range, I'd probably go for Hydroponics, Botanica, Remo's nutrients. They're middle of the ground because they're a blend of synthetic and organic.
Different courses.
And then your yield guys is your CANNA, your Dutch Pro, your Metrop, and then basically the easy guys. So you need to make a decision on, are you full of flavour, are you a mix of both, or are you all about the yields and just pushing stock out to people? That's a question you've got to ask for yourself. Ease of use. We've already talked about that a little bit, haven't we? Ease of use. You need to decide if you want an easy life and you go with something like CANNA and Dutch Pro, or do you want to take it more sophisticated and you've got to use an A and B grow and an A and B bloom nutrient. Consistency, basically.
Consistency also comes down to you as the grower as well, though, because your consistency is solely your responsibility. Consistency with nutrient feeding, i.e. whether you continue to use the same feed or you chop and change like a blue arse fly, which can cause you serious problems. A lot of people take that for granted as well. So where we say we can recommend you to use different various base nutrients or additives or whatever, also don't forget to take into account that it takes time for the plant to make its various changes. A lot of people implement different nutrients and additives and expect it to do something within a day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then they put something else in and put something else in, and that's where you can get lost in this complicated, massive, different things going on inside the media.
Let's move on to a few final top tips for when you're using base nutrients. Mixing them. You're going to find out if you're soft water or hard water. Yeah. Soft water means that you have very little calcium and magnesium in your tap water. Hard water areas, you've got quite a bit of calcium and magnesium in your tap water. You need to, if you're in a hard water, you need a hard water base nutrient. If you're in a soft water area, you need a soft water base nutrient. Hard water areas, you need to invest in either water softeners, which I'm not the biggest fan of because you're adding stuff to the water.
Mainly hard water areas in the UK, like down south, the smoke and that London. Up in Liverpool, we're soft water. As we leave our city and go further south, it goes harder and harder.
Yeah. It's just you down to the rock type that your rainfall comes from. Hard water areas, best to invest in a reverse osmosis machine, like the guy commented before.
Yeah.
And then what you do then is, next top tip is add a bit of calcium magnesium to the water. I mean, a tiny amount. So in Liverpool, it's a very soft area. Tap water comes out at 0.2 EC. Yeah. Reverse osmosis water comes out at 0. So with that water, because there's no minerals in there, your pH can fluctuate massively. Add a bit of calcium and magnesium into water and your pH is going to be buffered. So when we talk about buffering, it's calcium magnesium, and that's it. And calcium magnesium to help pH swings in soft water. To summarise, before we have a little chat about some competitions that are going on, you need to ask yourself questions. Where am I? Quality, yield and quality in the middle, or all about the yield. Do I want it to be easy to use, or do I want it to go a bit more in depth and gain the quality that comes out of harder to use?
Here's a couple of questions to ask yourself. First one is, am I finding it difficult to use my base nutrients? Are you struggling? Yeah. Are you losing track? Have you got too many bottles? Do your plants not seem to look just right? You're not happy with the results, and just everything just doesn't feel right. If that's the case,
go back to base.
Go back to base. Go back to a basic nutrient. Good one would be CANNA A and B. If you're a person who's thinking everything's great and I'm getting bored, you're on a simple base nutrient, let's up the ante a bit then and try something a bit newer. We're not saying to you go in and change your whole schematics of your grow room. What we're saying is carry on doing what you're doing, but a little corner section area, have a go at something else and see how that compares to what you've been doing. If that improves, off you go. It's not rocket science, is it? So, that's a couple of questions you could ask yourself.
And you'll be rewarded. If you do take that step, you will be rewarded by better quality produce as well, guaranteed. And that's it on base nutrients. The nutshell of this podcast is that if you are encountering problems and running into difficulties, go back to base. Go back to the basics. Go back to your base nutrients and build up from there. Right. Talking points. Giant Vegetable Community. They are running a competition. It is Grow a Globe Beetroot in a 1 litre pot. The competition starts on the 1st of December and finishes on the 31st of March 2017. And you must send in your measurements on the 31st of March or before. So what you just need to do, if you want to get involved in this competition, go onto Facebook, type in Giant Vegetable Community, ask to join. you'll be allowed in, obviously. And then the prize is a 20-site extreme propagator with 2 T5 sunblaster lamps. And that competition is worldwide. So whether you're US, Canada, Australia, Spain, Germany, Ireland, wherever you are, you can enter that competition, grow this globe beetroot, and you need to send pictures into the giant vegetable community. Get on that competition. And then to wrap things up, we'll be running a Instagram competition. So what you need to do is follow us on Instagram at NPK Technology on the screen there. Facebook competition, you need to like our Facebook page on there. And we will be running a podcast competition for you guys that listen anyway. And we will explain more in detail the competition next week. And to enter, you just need to get in touch via email or any social media. All entries received by the 20th of December, announced on the 21st, and delivered to you before Christmas Day. That's the terms and conditions sorted.
There you go then, terms and conditions.
And then you've already answered that, but I put at the bottom there, where the fuck have you been?
Oh, where have I been? Fucking hell. Well, I've been on a bit of a mad tour, haven't I? It's been a bit of a bad month as well, because there was also a few funerals that Steve mentioned. First little Frankie, and then a couple of my pals, his nan and his father, sadly passed away. But on the upside, I've also been, as some of you may well know, I also work alongside A-Star and other various artists. And fortunately enough, I was at the O2 Forum in Kentish Town with A-Star and Giggs, Skepta, JME, Tinchy, Lethal B. Bloody hell, there was absolutely loads. Everybody was there. So, yeah, that was a busy night, to say the least. And then I've just got back from Amsterdam. Yesterday was at the Dank of England show. Big shout out to Black the Ripper. His performance was legendary again. I've got some videos up, haven't we?
They'll be on Instagram, won't they?
Yeah, on the NPK Instagram. So, yeah, big shout out to Dank of England, Black the Ripper, A-Star as well, who's performing. There's some videos and that you can see what we've been getting up to, so I've been having some fun. Also been enjoying some of the joys of Amsterdam heavily. That's why I'm wearing my glasses now, because I'm still quite chungo, to be honest, from the whole expedition. Obviously, in Amsterdam, you are allowed to smoke cannabis. And I smoked a major amount of cannabis in Amsterdam. Some lovely
flavours.
Oh, I'm just thinking of some of them now. Holy Grail Kush. And some Tangerine Dream, my favourite from Barney's Farm. Some Dank of England, again, by Black the Ripper's strain. And some 24 karat gold from Voyager. Yeah, it was also the Cannabis Cup there as well. So, big shout out to all the entrants and everybody who was seen there. Big shout out to Slim. Boom. Yes, brother. We had a good time.
Slim from Slim's Hydroponics
in
London.
Slim's Hydroponics in Hounslow, London. So, any of you boys down there, you need some grow kit and you just can't be arsed getting on the train up yet. Make sure you go and see. Oh, the kosher cross tangy. Yeah, standard, bro. Yeah, man. Hey, heavy. See, I can talk about this shit because it's legal in Amsterdam. Do you know what I mean? Because we wouldn't condone anything like that in the UK.
No. Maybe one day we'll be able to talk about.
You never know.
Other plants.
Yeah, but yeah, the kosher cross tangy, bro. Heavy gear.
Well, listen, I think we're going to wrap it up there, aren't we?
Yeah.
Short podcast for today. Hope you've enjoyed it. What I will ask though is, look, I want to say one more thing before we go. Right. There's rumours.
A rumour?
You all love a rumour. You all love a rumour.
A good jangle.
There's rumours.
Is it going to piss anyone off?
Possibly. When I tell them all to fuck off.
Yeah, go on.
So, that's a pound for the swear jar.
Go on.
There's rumours that we are sponsored by company ABC. We're sponsored by Gavita. We're sponsored by CANNA because we have a drink out of a CANNA cup. We're sponsored by Dutch Pro. We don't give a fuck about any of those companies.
Is that the rumour?
Yeah. They all think that was because we talk about them. And whenever we mention the light, we mention Gavita.
Well, let's just say they're all shit then.
Gavita, no, we can't.
No, we can't do that. No,
but Solid, okay, so we're sponsored by Gavita. Major shout out to Solistech, that lighting company. Yeah, major shout out to ePapillon. Major shout out to Revolution Diva, the new double-ended light that's coming out. Big shout out to all great lights. And then, if you think we're sponsored by any of them, then you need to give your head a wobble because
I'll listen to the podcast because we talk about things because we like to talk about them. I.e., oh yeah, hold on, the CANNA cup was sponsored because we got the CANNA.
Hang on.
Hold on,
get your ashtray. Get your ashtray.
Cover it up.
Because
the
ashtray's a platinum ashtray, so we're sponsored by them as well.
Because these are the only fuckers who sent us an ashtray and cups. And like, I do like to have a cup of coffee, you know. And if I've got no cups and there's a can of cup, I'm going to use it. Same with my ashtray. So any used moaners out there who want to send us some stuff, please do.
It's nice
I've had these for years. I've had these since day dot, so I could do with a remake. So, you know, and I'll use them.
But for anyone that thinks about sponsors, give you that wobble.
Yeah,
we don't do sponsorship.
No.
We don't do advert, and that's how we can tell you
And that's
exactly
why
what we think.
Say what we want.
Fuck we want.
Because no one pays us or tells us what to do. So
I think that's why it works as well. That's why you just keep on coming back. That's why you keep on listening.
And you know, we like to terrorise stuff if it's shit.
Yeah, we will terrorise stuff.
Here's one for you. So somebody was saying that was sponsored by Gavita. Yeah. Now Gavita lights are the dog's bollocks, but I don't use them. I use the cheap ones because
it works for you.
It works for me. So, but these like the Gavitas. So
well, I can't wait to test the Revolution Diva lights. I've got 3 coming. I think they're with Maxi Bright today.
How much is your standard Gavita light?
For the
$350 or something.
Yeah, $350 to $450.
Yeah,
depending
well,
on.
there you go. Buzzed off is already. I can buy 7 lights for that in our shop. 7 lights. That's a fucking whopping room.
Yeah.
There you go. 50 quid a pop, 600 watt. Yeah, the ballast is a bit shit and it doesn't give you 600 watts. It varies up and down. I'm not arsed though, my crop's flying. Do you know what I mean? I've got 7 lights to your 1 and I don't care whether you're 10% over each one of your lights in better quality than mine. And this is the argument we have. We have arguments as me, the grow shop owner, grower, Steve, the grow shop manager, grower, whatever. So like we have it, but we're both not right.
We're both not wrong.
And we're both not wrong. Because Gavita's the dog's bollocks. And when we talk about Gavita, we put other people in its category. And we have chosen that they're better because the research that's been done has proved that's ahead of its game in its thing. And we've also talked about, all budget stuff as well.
Yeah.
And I like some of it, but because some of it's good and you get good value for your money, but some of it's shit and just breaks. So we talk about everything on a whole range. Like, we've had murder over different companies, over tents. I've ripped zips off tents. I've slated plug and grow. Who else have I had it with? But everything that
kind LED lights.
Yeah, because we're giving feedback because we use this product. If we haven't used it, we can't really talk about it, can we? Do you know what I mean? We'll try and talk about it, maybe say, yeah, we'll review it in the future. But that's what we do. So if you think that we're biased, we're not. We're just that we're using this shit because we want to see what it's about. Yeah. If there's something that you want us to test and you think it's crap or good, let us know and then we'll give your version of events on that product. I don't care what company it is, how big they are and who they are. I'm not asked, I'll tell it straight. If I don't like your product, I'll make sure I tell you why I don't like it. I will never get a product and go, that's crap or that's shit. And I'll never just say, oh, that product's amazing and it's just good. I'll tell you why I think it is. And give you the pros and cons so you as a listener can decide, or the grow shop owner can be watching this and thinking, nah, T, you chatting a load of shit there, or it's right, lads, you know what I mean? I haven't had the chance to do that, so you've picked up on something that I was interested in. Yeah. This isn't just for customers, it's also for the boys who are listening in air grow shops, you know, because we like to we all have a talk, we go to the shows and we'll have a jangle about, hey, have you seen this, hey, have you seen that product, that was crap, that was good, and we'll talk about it, and that's what this is all about. It's having a discussion, an open debate, honestly. It's because we can't be bought. Well, I say we can't be bought. Like, if you want to throw $1 million quid, like, you know, who knows, but there you go. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, man. And I can't wait to test this Revolution Diva light that's coming out, made by Greg Richter. Yeah. We'll have it.
He's been going on about this light here. I'll tell you a little secret. See this revolutionary light? He's been going on about this light before anybody. Yeah, and I'm not just blowing our own trumpet because I don't know. He does the research, yeah, and he comes harping on at me. Here's this new light. I want it before anybody, because that's what our team's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Go do what you need to do, lad. And so he's contacting the guy who's probably sitting in his garage in America somewhere making it before it's even made. We've got all sorts of promises, yeah. And then we got let down. You got backdoored, lad, didn't you? It never come to you first. Oh, let's have it right, lad. Yeah, you got backdoored. It went to somebody else's shop and you got straight on the phone because you got promised first, lad. Nobody had even sniffed this light before it even hit the UK, and Steve knows more about it than probably the people who made it because he's interested. He wants to find out whether it's the dog's bollocks. Now, it ended up getting to the shop the next day because you caused that much fuss over it, didn't you, lad?
Yeah.
And you come and you made the video. You still haven't got the product to test it, have you?
I think it landed in Maxi Break today.
How long have you been after this life for?
Years.
2 years?
2 years.
2 years. Hey, offers Barnett, 2 years you've been waiting for the light to test it. That's what we do. He's cased Gavita, just give them and let them test it. Because Gavita, I've got a set of bollocks, and that's what I will say about them. You know, he phones Gavita and says, "Oh, I've got these, seen this new light." He's obviously said, "Hey, I want to test this one. I want to." It's like a kid in a sweet shop, yeah. And he's casing them, and Gavita put the balls on the line and go, "Yeah, there's that light, there's that light, there's that light. Go on, test it. Where's everybody else though?" That's what we're saying to you. It's not because Gavita sponsors us. It's because Gavita have got a set of balls about their gear. Yeah, they're willing to put it on the line and go, "Yeah, test it. Keep hold of it, test it," and that's what they do. Yeah, simple as. So, you know, anybody else who's willing to put your balls on the line, you know where to send the gear to. Or shut the fuck up and bury your head in the sand.
I love your rants, bro.
Bam!
Yeah.
There you go.
Great. Well, do you want to do one more thing? Let's talk about 2 minutes. We're starting a YouTube channel.
Oh, more of us on YouTube, bloody hell.
I know. But listen, if other shops did good YouTube channels, we wouldn't have to. We do our podcast and we're happy with our podcast. And then there's another YouTube channel just for growers by Everest Fernandez. Lovely, brilliant show. And it's about 5 minutes long for each video. If you haven't seen them, get on it. Brilliant show. But then there's other YouTube channels and they're just boring.
Oh my God, they've got droning voices. They don't do no action.
Read off a script.
Read off a script. There's nothing.
I'm not saying
personality.
I'm not saying like we're like Mr. Interesting and Mr. Personality.
But have a little buzz off us and, you know, just see it how it is.
Even if you think that we're knobheads.
Yeah.
Which a load of you probably do.
Loads of people think
you're still watching us.
Yeah, you're still watching us, right? But hopefully you learn something from us. That's more importantly. I couldn't care whether you like us or not. I just hope that you learn and pick something up and benefit from it. If we don't, we're all just wasting our time here right now.
Yeah. But we're starting a YouTube channel. We're building the research lab behind us. Glass-fronted, 4K camera, Lavelle mics. It's going to be the dog's bollocks, and we're going to talk about everything that we don't really get to talk about on podcasts because we're going to be able to show you products and we're going to be able to get close-ups, show you how to do your shit.
And once we've got this closed system built in the research lab built, you'll be able to check all this shit out inside there and have a little look, see what we're capable of and what we do.
If any companies are listening, wholesalers, I'm going to send you all an email. But if you want to send your top 2 products for us to do a how to use video, send us them. We won't be reviewing them, so don't be scared that we might select your product. We will do one day if it's shit.
Yeah.
It was just
a separate podcast, but we're doing a how to use.
So send us your products.
All we're going to do is talk about the product and how to use it and why to use it and when to use it. That is it. It won't be getting reviewed unless you want us to.
Which is separate, but we'll buy it.
We'll do that on a separate.
Before we go, Josh Solostek's just joined. Josh, big shout out to you, bro.
Solostek.
Yeah, man. Hope you had a good show at Prague. It looked like you had a whale of a time. And then just a one last final sign off to people that think that was sponsored by Gavita. Solostek's light diet is the bollocks, and it's going to give you a better spectrum than Gavita will give you, and you're going to get better results because you're giving them different light spectrums at different times.
Oh, you know what else I want to say to Josh and all of our pals in the US and Canada and that?
Yeah.
Is it Canada do Thanksgiving?
Just the US.
Just the US. Well, first of all the people in the US, happy Thanksgiving for yesterday.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
And if you're listening on the podcast, not watching live, though, we recorded this on the 25th of November.
That's how many days is that?
It's going to be about 10 days away. So, happy Thanksgiving for 10 days ago.
Happy Thanksgiving for 10 days ago. I hope you had a really nice time. Big shout out to everybody in Canada.
Yeah. And Australia. I've always got to shout out to me Aussie guys because I'm getting loads of messages off you boys. So keep sending your messages. Keep sending the emails. Share if you think other people will like it. And that's it, innit? Time to go.
Yeah.
4:20. 4:20. Time to do some business.
Boom. There we go.
Thank you for listening, and we'll be with you soon.
See you later, guys.
Bye-bye.